Warning, this podcast contains material not suitable for younger audiences, and some material that's not suitable for older audiences. If you're part of any age group, we've found a way to offend you. Run while you still can. We are the hapless heroes.
Sir, before you say anything, I will say that I will join your righteous band of birds under one condition.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hapless Heroes podcast. Happy New Year. We missed you. We really missed you a lot. I'm really glad to have you back here.
Yeah. I didn't.
I'm Francesco. I will be your host and DM. And to my left, we have Dave as Omega Project Prototype Zero. I'm sorry, Zero, Valen's Avatar of War.
That is correct.
John as Lord Jarrell the Light.
It's been a month and I still smell like cumin.
Massimo as the gorgeous ? Morton Mac.
Honk, 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 honk.
Zach is Peridot Lincolnwoods.
Biscuit and coffee.
James
So satisfying.
as Hoplet the Smasher.
Good evening, friendos.
And Quinn as Lord Captain Quinn Southwind.
Get me out of here.
When we last left our party, they were brought in for questioning after, waking up from crash landing in a coma, crash landing in their airship flying out of Tarantus and waking up a month later or some shit, just not even knowing where the heck they are and all just being pulled into questioning. Hoblet and Peridot and Mort each had their issues of just cooperating and moving along with getting to this interrogation place. But you were introduced to the two people who will be questioning you. Detective Corporal Bruce Badgerson and Dr. Jimothy Merriweather.
That's Jimothy with a J.
With a J.
Oh, I heard. I thought it was a hard. I thought it was a hard G.
Oh, and
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a G-E-O.
like a GIF?
No,
Geomethy.
like a literally just J-I-M-O-T-H.
G-Y-M.
No. Jimothy.
Othy.
Like a gym. Like J-I-M.
Right, gym, like a
Oh
gymnasium.
my God, stop it now.
Or Gime. I think
I'm just
some people
saying,
pronounce it
You're
Gime.
making everything worse for yourself right now.
No, this is out of character. Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
it
not
doesn't-
using the accent.
You have to understand, though, I'm still a person here with real feelings. And sometimes I have a hard time separating those feelings and emotions from, the things that I...
Because I misspelled the guy's name?
Intentionally.
It was
On purpose.
It was the intent behind what you were saying.
It's like in Star Trek. They can walk by the doors, but somehow the doors know the intent of the person, so they only open when they want them to.
I don't know
On
what you're talking
purpose.
about.
Smart doors.
Absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Doors
That's
with
like-
genuine people personalities.
That's a thing about the doors in sci-fi. It's why don't they just open? People are moving around rooms when you're watching a sci-fi movie or TV show, but the doors can somehow read the intent of the person, so they only
Whether they
open.
want to go through the door.
Right.
We haven't hit the future until the doors can tell what
I
we
see
want.
what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they'll walk by and the door won't open because they
Right.
didn't intend to walk through the door.
Exactly.
But then I got it.
See, I'm sorry. I thought you were trying to make a slight comment about how I, had made Hoblet struggle with doors for a little while at one point in time.
No.
I mean, that's
So it had nothing to do with you.
subtext.
I'm just talking about stupid things that only I care about.
Well, back to things that everyone else cares about. Jarrell was taken off for questioning. They decided they were going to do one at a time. The rest of you are sitting in cells, some with locked doors, some with open doors in a room. with facing a bunch of Dairy King Protectorate soldiers who all happen to be Aurora Crow, just these gigantic birds. They do have wings too, just so you know.
Where are they?
Sprouting from the back of their arms.
How do they hold their weapons?
They got little hands.
They have spears in one hand and a tower shield in the other.
They have
So they have-
hands and wings?
Yeah,
It's
they
like a
have-
pterodactyl.
They have
Or
like
is the
humanoid
hand-
arms.
They are
End of the wings.
they are claws.
Oh.
What
wings-
do they stand on?
They have 4 limbs and 2 wings.
Okay.
A wing is a
So
limb.
it's not like a
So they have
pterodactyl.
6 limbs.
So
Like
They
there's
have 6
6
limbs.
total.
2 of those are wings.
It's like an angel.
Cool.
Like an angel.
I mean, listen. This is not
A goose-like.
Let's not get too
These
crazy.
details matter, all right? We're going to need them later on to unfold a puzzle or solve some sort of mystery.
You're right. You're right. And now, as a result of that, there's going to be a quiz at the end.
Gonna be a puzzle.
No.
So the goose men with hands.
Sure.
Claws.
As
Claws.
Mort would believe them to be, for sure.
Now, are the hands webbed?
No.
Okay.
No.
Do they have
They look-
opposable
they're
thumbs?
like talons almost.
Okay. There's
They-
only
they can-
3,
they
like
can-
Ninja
they can-
Turtle?
No, there's 4. They can curl around things.
Is there a strip joint around here?
You have no idea at this point.
What the fuck?
My point is that we're talking about nothing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
We need to know if
Back
they have
to you,
thumbs.
Appreciate you, Michael.
trying.
What's the phone
I
number
have
of
to
the
make up
place
for the
where we're
first
being
part.
held?
So Jarell is taken off for questioning, and I'm going to have everybody else shut their mouths for a second.
Shoot him out.
You're taken into a much more comfortable room, Jarell. The chairs in this room are padded.
Mhm.
The table is a nice mahogany, finished, polished. On the table there is a hot meal.
The refreshments.
Yeah. You know what? What's Jarell's ideal hot meal?
Oh, definitely just your run-of-the-mill steak, potatoes, and some veggies.
All of that is in
Wine.
front of you, cooked to perfection, like as if they knew you.
Awesome.
And there is, yes, a glass of wine here and a glass of water.
So Jarrell, is there a seat across on the other side of the table?
There are 2 seats.
Jarrell will sit.
At the single side?
Yeah, where the food
you
is.
understand the etiquette. Yeah, it's laid out for you right there. Right.
Mhm.
There's no shackles here. There's no, it's a very just comfortable room. There does appear to be, like a piece of like a mirror behind you,
Yeah.
But,
I know what that is.
you're looking a little unkempt when you look at yourself in the mirror.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I can see my reflection.
Your hair's a mess. You got scars all over your face
Butt.
and arms, and
Do I have a black eye?
yes, you do.
Cool.
And
What a shiner.
you take a seat, and Dr. Jimothy Merriweather and Detective Corporal Bruce Bannerson follow behind you.
Do they sit? Or do they just I kind of watch them for a second?
Jimothy gestures for you to sit. Bruce, sort of as the door closes behind him, kind of stands with his hands sort of folded behind his back, patiently.
So knowing that they're both still behind him, correct?
Who?
They're standing
so
behind
behind
Jarrell
Jarrell,
still.
yes.
Yeah. Jarrell will sit down and immediately cut into the steak,
Mm-hmm.
and before he puts a piece in his mouth, he'll ask, "So where do you want me to begin?"
Why don't we start with these? What brought you to Tarantus exactly?
To Tarantus? Well, it was a long journey, but I was hired by. You are aware of Baroness Anasterian,
Yes,
correct?
yes, we are very familiar with her.
I was hired by her to keep an eye on these bumbling heroes, as it were.
Yes, and what have you observed?
Well, we've been chasing down gems, fighting the undead.
I'm going to stop you right there. Yes, why don't we talk about those? Yes, the gems. What are these gems that you have been seeking for so long?
Outside of showing us certain areas and who was carrying them, I still have no idea what the purpose of them was.
Explain for a moment what you mean by I don't understand the purpose of these things or the significance. Like, what do you mean you see through them?
The only thing we are aware of is that when you looked into an orb, you could see the other side of the gem. And these happen to be in the hands of individuals commanding or working with the undead.
I see. And, what did you do with these individuals?
Well, we killed most of them.
And
Very entertaining murders.
who did you report this to?
I sent at least 2 letters to Kip during our travels.
You see, he begins writing some things down.
Mhm.
So you said you told
Baroness
Baroness Anasterian
Yes.
about the events that have unfolded thus far.
As often as I could, we were in a rush between Tamasha here and... what was it? The forest. I did not get a chance to send a letter, but I did see Shalandria.
Yes, she told us as much, with this band of reprobates, as she so eloquently put it.
They're getting better.
They're yet... Lord Jarrell,
Turned me into a
you know,
newt.
Lord Jarrell, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. And please, answer honestly. There's no judgment here. I see you are a man of the faith. Like, I understand your holy mission. But how would you rate the company of your companions on a scale of, why don't we just say, for shits and giggles, 1 to 10? And then
Which one?
And then, and then explain your answer.
Hapless heroes, now 50% less reprehensible.
Do you want me to go through them one at a time?
You know what? Let's do that.
I'm uncomfortable.
You
I don't like where
You
this
know what?
interview is
I
headed.
love where this is going. So, you know what, Jarrell? Please say a few words about each of your companions while they are not here to hear what you are saying.
Just remember, the real life people are here to
None
hear
of
what
us
you
can
However-
hear you.
Because we are classy individuals, we will not mix player knowledge with
Correct.
character knowledge.
Yes.
And we will just sit here.
You're gonna make me look
and we will
each
just,
person in the eyes as I explain
and we
what
will
their
simply sit here silently as Lord Jarrell passes his judgment on to them.
Who do
None
you
of
want me to
this
start
should
with?
come as a surprise. to any
Can't
of us.
wait.
Jarrell, in a few words, please explain.
Who do you want me to start with?
Why don't we start with Mort? What is wrong with that fellow?
He may be insane. I have no idea where he even... the things he does, what he wears, he's so compulsive. I have no idea. But he has a good heart, I suppose.
So you're saying he has a good heart? That's good, because we've also received... we have multiple harassment charges pending. for
I've
him.
been babysitting him more than anything else.
You're a terrible babysitter. Has anyone told you that?
I was not raised to babysit.
No, I don't suppose you were, but you were hired to.
To an extent, and that was before he joined. I did not agree to have him join.
And yet, here he is in your midst. You're saying you're traveling with an unstable person. Is that right?
Yes.
And he writes something down. Okay, why don't we go on to Peridil? What can you tell me? He's been very aggressive with Bruce so far.
I would recommend you watch yourself around him. He's very cunning, very fast, and very dangerous.
And you hear Bruce kind of just whisper from the back, "I'll see him hang tomorrow if it's the last thing I do." You were saying...
He's, again, very determined to achieve his goals.
What would you say his goals are?
From what I can tell, it's self-preservation.
So he's out for himself, is what you're saying.
And he'll kill anyone who gets in his way.
I see.
Good God.
And he writes something down. I must ask you about the dwarf that you are, that is in your company.
You shouldn't even go near him either.
Hoblet. Here's the thing. It's hard to get a good read on him. him, the history that we've documented here of his exploits and the things that we've heard from the witnesses and his family, and it's a very strange picture that it paints.
I understand that being anywhere in his vicinity may be very distasteful to the average human.
I mean, the
But
smell, it alone...
having him next to you in combat, the thrill is like no other.
Yes, I've heard many tales.
I saw
of his
him defeat
victories.
at least 20 skeletons by himself. It was awesome.
And that is very much a useful skill.
Now, yes.
Especially now, with the way that things are happening in the world.
Aliases include the Crown Prince of Browntown.
The cod piece father.
That's good. But do you ever... It's hard to tell, like, where the amount of violence that this man exhibits to do things that, I mean, ultimately, I guess, have ended up, helping some people in some strange roundabout way.
He has good luck and sometimes he just gets bored.
Okay. What about the Lord Captain? He seems very articulate.
Yes. He is very confident. I don't even know where he goes half the time.
I see. So he disappears a lot, you say?
Yes. Quite promiscuous, that one.
Yeah, would you say would you say that he's a schemer? Would you say he's the one who really makes the plans of the group?
No, he tries his best.
You're a dick.
That's gotta be considered metagaming, is that not?
Listen.
That's just comedy.
More frequently than not, his plans end with us at the whorehouse, so...
I see.
I know he told us to keep our mouths shut, but what the fuck?
Honestly, it was not intended to be a slight at you. I was actually looking for him to say you because... What about Felix? What do you think of him?
Currently, he seems to be the only rational one in the entire group.
Is that right?
From what I can tell.
How many
Outside of
plans
Zero.
have actually
Zero's
worked
not,
on
I'm not including Zero. I think they know who Zero is.
Right, he
clearly
writes-
the most rational.
Yeah, well,
Don't
Zero...
suck up to the DM.
Hey, this is Jarrell, baby.
I'm not looking for an ego boost here. I'm just saying I'm not. I am looking
Jarrell
for
is friends with
Jarrell's
Felix.
feelings about all of you.
I mean, if we're being real, he hasn't really lied once yet.
This is very true. It's very
Tell me
truthful.
one thing that he said that's not been true.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's spot on.
Dr. Jimothy Merriweather continues. Wouldn't you say, though, we have a hard time pinning down a paper trail for Felix?
He's very good at that.
Yeah, but see, no, that's the point. Like that's what we do. That's what we're good at. I don't think you understand the intelligence community that exists here in Dragonport.
I don't think you understand what that little man is capable of.
And see, that's what I'm afraid of. So you're saying that he's the orchestrator?
Again, as much as he can. Things don't always go our way.
Okay, so why don't we dig a little deeper into that statement? What do you mean things don't always go your way? And you can see that Bruce is sort of starting to crack his knuckles a little bit. And just he's very keenly listening right now.
Well, take for example what just happened in Tarantus.
Yeah, see, what did happen in Tarantus? Because see, from our perspective, the city was there, and now it's gone. And you came crashing down away from it.
Over time, we became aware that the god Vecna...
He kind of his eyes kind of go wide and he
Yes,
Yes.
that Vecna
has been waging war with the gods themselves. We were unaware that this had anything to do with the coronation. We were simply there trying to get the last gem.
Back up. So you're saying that this has something to do with the coronation of the crown prince?
You are still unaware of the fact that Vecna took that city.
And they like, I mean, there's gasps. You can even hear gasps from behind the mirror behind you. Right.
This man is overcast.
I see. Jarrell, thank you. I think that this is enough to go on for the moment. Why don't you stay here, make yourself comfortable, finish your meal. There is a waiting area just down the hall. Make yourself comfortable when you are finished. Your clothes and your things and belongings are there. You can tell the attendant that you are cleared. He hands you like sort of like a form. It's 3 pages long. Your clearance papers. He says, but just hang around here for a minute if you don't mind.
I recommend you don't be too hard on the rest of them. They are, again, as I say, almost entirely impulsive.
Yes. Quite. A few moments later, we're gonna cut back to the room that you guys are in. What's the mood like now in the room that you like? What are you guys all doing now in your cells? And Zero's kind of sitting out here, just like, just sitting comfortably at a
I
table.
don't have my loot.
No, you have nothing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would be strumming my lute, but I don't have my loot.
Are you singing?
Are you beating a
I am.
drum beat?
I am singing. Okay, yeah. I'm drumming on the table, and I'm just like almost like a harmonica solo moment, but somehow doing it on the table. Yeah.
Like a drum solo?
I would say that sounds like a drum solo.
But it sounds like a harmonica.
I've seen this before.
But it sounds like a harmonica?
It's called a drum
I'm
solo.
that good.
Is it prestidigitation?
He's that good.
Can I roll a performance check?
Fuck yeah, you can.
You shut your mouth.
It sounds
I'm glad I got rid of it now.
just like a drum solo.
He's literally just slapping the table. Yeah.
Offbeat.
And everyone, you guys are getting real impatient with him at this point, too, because it's like, you guys are all waiting here, too.
To be clear, that was a nat one,
You know
right?
what? You know
That
what?
was an at one.
Yeah.
Wow. So he's sitting there banging away like a friggin'
Like a lunatic, yeah.
Because I'm really trying to make it
what are
sound like
these
a
cells?
harmonica.
We're each in our own cell.
Yeah.
Maybe these cells are.
You're locked
10
up. The
by
rest
10,
of them weren't.
15 by.
Yes, they're like literally
Before
just
you quit.
cages that were just dropped into the room. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I'm going to cast silence right on top of him so that he's sitting there banging away and he's the only one that can hear it.
You will attempt to cast silence.
Oh yeah. Cue shit-eating grin.
Are you like you're literally the dick of the episodes?
He's about to
Of the
electrocute.
last two episodes.
Well, see, when whoever did it, when Jarrell did it, he
It
didn't
worked.
say anything.
I didn't.
And it worked. So I would have no reason to think.
Something feels weird when you cast this spell, Hoblet.
Okay.
This source, right, that you've been so used to drawing your magic from is different. You can feel it as you're sort of pulling on it
Okay.
to cast this spell.
Okay.
The spell is cast,
Mhm.
but alongside of it, and everybody but Quinn can hear this now, there is blaring air horn. Like it's audible.
And Quinn's the only one who can't hear
Talk
it.
about your all-time
I'm pretending
biggest
my
backfires.
I'm pretending my harmonica solo is rocking
Everyone-
it out.
Every living creature within 1,000 feet of you is immediately alerted to your position.
in the prison, in a cage, being interrogated.
Zero takes the screwdriver out of his left forearm and turns a screw up by his ears to turn his hearing down a little bit.
That was not intended, but you know you did that.
Great. Feel bad. You
So
did that.
now The guards that are in the room are immediately on alert and now surround your cage with spears pointed at you.
Cattle prods.
And Jimothy and Bruce re-enter the room, and you hear Bruce saying, "Who the fuck is?" Sorry. Damn it! I wanted so bad to get that out.
You just edit it.
You got this.
It's not continuing, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Still going. Oh yeah.
It's just continuing? Oh my god.
It's down the other ear.
Got the giggles out. Got the giggles out. You got this. Center yourself.
Who the fuck is making all that racket? And you see Jimothy immediately cast Dispel Magic on the silence field and whatever the fuck you're doing. And it's quiet in here again.
And it works for him?
Yes.
Without a doubt. You don't even have to roll the fucking die over there. I'm just asking. 'Cause if that's the case, then this dude is Boss Hog.
What level spell is it?
I don't know.
What level did you cast Silence at?
Oh,
What level was it cast at? I think it can only be cast at...
second.
Okay. Yes.
Well,
he dispels the effects.
But there's no consequence to him doing the
That's what
magic.
I'm getting at is we've all had consequence
Right.
and he didn't. So I'm assuming that he's somebody not to be fucked with.
Yes, he does it without consequence.
Okay.
Okay.
I understand the question you're
Right.
asking now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, right, Boss Hog.
Right.
Wusa.
Not Boss Hog.
Not
Okay.
Boss Hog.
So, I would like at this point, I just kind of the camera's kind of frozen here for a second. I can't really, like there's just some quiet. It's like you can see that Bruce is fuming, and he says, as he starts pointing. Oh my God! Stop! Cut it out! That's it. You know what? You're next. And they walk over and like literally like by the collar yoink you out of the cage.
Yoink.
And Bruce just starts pushing you down the hallway. And Jimothy.
What happened to the hospitality around here?
Jimothy is like kind of like trailing behind him, like Bruce, please, just okay. And and he just throws you into a room. There's no food in here.
Are you fucking kidding me?
If it makes you feel any better, I got steak.
I had a whole fancy meal prepared. I looked it up.
Hold on.
Gross.
Hold on. Hold your horses.
Horses are held.
Jimothy follows shortly behind, and he says, Bruce, would you just give us a moment, please? And he's like, no! One of these people has to hang tomorrow. I swear it. Someone's got to pay for this. The public needs an answer. And he just kind of sits there fuming. He's like, you ask your questions. You ask your questions, man. Just know I'll be here. I'll be listening. Jimothy gestures for you to sit down.
Sort of wipes his nose a little bit briefly after that.
He gestures for you to sit down.
I sit.
He sits across from you. Why don't we start with a hot meal?
That sounds great. Peking duck with a lobster tail on the side and a nice crisp Caesar salad.
You want to go for romaine? That's kind of risky.
That might be dated, hopefully, by the time that this
I was gonna say.
this airs.
Yes.
I'm hoping.
Either that or this is post-apocalypse.
Because if I have to give up Caesar salad for another month, I'm going to be real pissed. 'Cause I fucking love
dude,
Caesar
you only
salad.
live once. Just eat a fucking Caesar salad.
YOLO!
Maybe piss some
I'm
blood
going to have
from
salad tonight.
What's the worst that could happen?
No, you don't YOLO into salad.
Right.
You YOLO away from salad.
Anyways,
What the fuck happened to this world? Where salad is a YOLO.
YOLO away from salad. I'm gonna get that tattooed on me.
No. Salad is a no-go.
After some time, like Jimothy's making small talk with you now, just shooting the shit.
Yep.
You see he actually walks over into a corner. There is an espresso machine in here. Makes a dainty little one for you.
Mm-hmm.
He just hands it to you.
And my pinky immediately goes up.
Of course it does. That's what I was looking for. Right.
I feel like I'm being wooed.
Right. And you guys sit
I already
small
warned him
talk a
about
little
you,
bit.
by the way.
Like what kind of? Wait, what
I
kind
don't
of?
know that.
Wait, what kind of wooed are you being?
Wooed?
Yeah.
How can we be
Like
wooed?
sexually wooed.
Oh my god.
I mean, easiest way to get Quinn into...
Like you're made from wood now.
Oh my god.
No, he's being wooed.
Right.
Yeah.
But how can we be
How can you
wooed?
just be wooed?
Stop this right fucking now. Before 2 of your characters die tomorrow.
You're all being wooed.
We're back, and we're back.
It's like a Walking Dead twist.
Right. So you guys make some small talk. Your meal arrives, and as you start digging into it, or maybe daintily cutting it, depending on how you choose to eat. Which is it? I guess because you gave me a look, like you had something in mind.
I want to just like gorge it,
Right.
but I realize that I have a persona to
Maintain.
uphold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of just like just kind of wipe the drool from my side of my lips, and I just slowly cut a small piece of the duck and just
Nibbles.
nibble.
Once it hits your lips.
So he looks at you and he says, "Now, Quinn, now that we're comfortable, we've spoken with Jarrell, and he's, given us a new perspective on this whole situation.
Well, I'm
But-
sure he told you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I would hope he did, or he is doing our goddess a disservice.
And I would be disappointed if he hadn't.
It's good for you to say. So he mentioned a few things. We talked about some gems. We talked about undead.
Lots of undead.
Just lots of things have happened, and your group seems to somehow, inexplicably, find itself at the center of everything. And I'd just like to know, how a lot of you got here, but I was aware that you were in a coma for a bit, so you may not have been party to some of the illicit activities that the rest of your group may or may not have performed.
If it had anything to do with Mort, I was not around when he joined our group.
So, what has he done?
A lot of ridiculousness.
Yeah.
I would say the majority of the things that we've gotten into were because of him.
Right
You're gonna
under
get
the
hung.
bus.
You're gonna get hung more.
So, hold on. How would you... Can you explain yourself? Like, how has he been the... What did he have to do with the takeover of Tarantus? We learned that...
Nothing.
We learned that
He's
Vecna-
a bumbling idiot.
Pulled back
He
out
just
under
gets
the bus
himself
with
into
stuff.
trouble. We're just constantly having to save his behind.
You mean to tell me that his bumbling around is the reason that we are now facing off against the fucking gods?
Oh no, that
And that magic is somehow fucked up because he just bumbled his way into a problem and into bringing Vecna into our world. That's a serious accusation. And how can a person bumble their way through that many things?
I would say that he's more along for the ride, and it's because of him that maybe we were taken off the path here and there.
Bruce Bannerson rushes the table at this point, and he slams both of his hands down. And he looks at you dead in the eye, and he's like, "'Cause you orchestrated it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew you were the ringleader. All them titles. Yeah. Bet you had to work real hard for those, huh? Yeah. Well, see these? Yeah, I had to work real hard. This arm, not even real. Not even real, man.
Does he take his arm off and wave his one arm at the other arm?
No, it stays firmly attached to his body.
Alright.
And he says, "You're gonna tell us who did this? Who brought Vecna into this world? Or I swear to you, you're just as guilty as they are."
You are beautiful when you're angry.
How would he react to that?
Are you gonna roll a persuasion or a charisma check on that one?
I feel like
Blindsided you.
I feel like I could.
give me a persuasion.
14.
16.
Wait.
Are you doing something about it? You can't really. I mean, like I
Yeah,
gave you my
now that
result.
I've already-
Okay, so he slaps you and he says, "Your charms aren't gonna work on me, Southwind."
In the face?
Yeah.
You slapped me in the face?
Yes.
Roll for initiative.
He says,
I'm gonna glance toward Jiminy.
Jimothy?
Jimothy. Sorry.
Jimothy Cricket?
Jimothy is sort of has adjusted his posture that he's backing away a bit.
I'm just so I am holding my composure, but I am clearly making it a point to show him that I'm holding my composure.
Bruce continues to yell. "Damn it, old man! Just ask him the question. Who did it? What happened? How did Vecna get here? And who summoned him? You better give me an answer right now. Because I'm tired of all this run around and formalities and bullshit."
From the little knowledge that I know, and mostly from Jarrell,
He's gonna pull it. I do not recall this slimy bastard.
To the best
all
of my
I
recollection.
know is that Vecna is acting of his own accord, trying to take control of the other gods.
So you're just saying then, Vecna just happened to be there, and then you just found some magical airship
Oh, yeah.
and crashed it into my shore.
Well, I mean, we didn't know how to drive the magical airship. But it
You
was the
just-
best way for us to get out.
You just happened to find one.
I take a big bite of duck.
We can't. We can't even get our people in there because the Omega Project is swarming around it, saying it's their intellectual property. He uses very heavy air quotes when he says that.
Well, now what's wrong with the Omega Project?
I don't trust them scheming scientists.
Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist.
I'm a realist, sir. What I know is real is that magic is fucked up. And people are dying. The undead's invading to the north. We had to light the fucking beacons. We're working alongside those orcs and goblins and those criminals from the north because the undead are just rampaging. And I think that your kind, your group somehow has something to do with it and you're hiding something. So why don't you talk to me about these gems? What do they have to do with it?
The gems that we...
I don't care what you have to say.
Okay.
You're a
I take
liar.
another big bite of duck.
I'm done with him. Get him out of here. And Jimothy just kind of like sighs. And he says, "My apologies, Lord Captain. Why don't you just remain here for a moment? We'll be back for you."
I'm just going to say I am still a little turned on.
Do you say that out loud?
Yes.
Bruce Bannerson stops in the doorway and then continues marching out the door.
Oh.
Playing hard to get.
I see him switching.
We'll see you in a minute. Enjoy your meal, but just you have to stay here for a second. We may have some follow-up.
Oh, I have plenty of food here. I will be here for a moment.
Great. And the door closes behind and locks behind you.
You just like
I'm locked in now.
bury your face in the plate.
No, seriously, I look around and make sure that there's nobody around, and I literally just take like a handful of the Caesar salad and just like stuff it in my face. With croutons.
Ooh.
Wow.
Pumpernickel croutons.
Oh.
Yes. We're now going to cut to the room where some of you still remain. And only Jimothy walks in the room this time. What are you guys doing now, the remainder of you?
Paradil is sort of like practicing his fencing moves inside his cell.
Without anything, just like kind of just his
Yeah.
flourishing and hand
Moving
work.
his...
The handwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And footwork.
And footwork.
Mostly footwork is what he's working on.
Got it.
Mort is saluting with one hand and flapping his other hand like a wing. The second that he walks in the room.
He's not a bird.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be his goose man.
But it's not Bruce. It's Jimothy.
It's Jimothy, correct.
Right.
Do I
his
still have the
maverick.
shackles on?
Yes.
Okay. I am.
You are no longer surrounded with spears pointed at you. They have now retreated back to their at rest,
That was
like at
pretty
ease
smart of them.
position.
I
you didn't-
am
yeah.
like a veteran prisoner on a life sentence, just laying on the cot in my bunk,
And like dead silent.
just staring up at the ceiling.
Okay. You know what? Let's just get this over with. Mo, why don't you come with me?
Sir, I will do anything you ask of me.
This is gonna be the best interrogation
Yes.
ever.
Jimothy, by himself, leads you to a room. It's much smaller than the others, but you have no point of reference. It still looks comfortable. There is just a like 2-person table here, but there are shackles on your end. And he says, "I hope you don't mind me asking, but just given how do I be delicate about this? Your previous dispositions and tendency to act impulsively. I'm going to have to put these on you."
Does Mort know what any of those words mean?
Yeah, I put my arms right in it and I let him
Okay,
shackle
so
me
yeah,
up.
you take a seat. He shackles you
No
to
issue
the
at
table.
all.
And he says, "Just so you know, this room is... Well, never mind. So,
Sir, before you say anything, I will say that I will join your righteous band of birds under one condition.
I mean, he's already. Alright.
Under one condition.
Again, still in his manic state.
what's the condition?
The condition is you grant me and all of my best friends diplomatic immunity,
Diplomatic immunity. Still pardoned on the table.
and I start as a ranking officer, sergeant first class.
You see Jimothy is just... looks like he's furiously taking notes.
Okay. Do I get a meal as well?
You don't know that we've been fed.
That was out of character.
This is me asking.
Yeah.
Morton, you've lived a troubled life, haven't you? Your father left during your formative years. Had to be hard for you.
I'm just not saying anything, but tears are streaming down my face.
Now, before you get all emotional,
Before.
Too late.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to impersonate in every way I possibly can Badgerson. His voice, his demeanor, his gruffness. Like I'm trying to personify it.
It's a good idea.
I mean, he already is a person.
Well, I'm trying to just imitate him then,
There you go.
because he is a real person.
Morton, we're just going to keep you here for a minute. You've given me so much good information.
I do have more information.
You know what?
Ask me something.
Go ahead. Ask me.
Oh, fine.
Did anyone ever tell you don't talk to cops?
It can't hurt. Morton, what do you know about the splendiferous bauble?
What I will say, sir, is that bauble was in my command, in my control. See,
And he just writes that down. Thank you for your time. And he starts walking towards the door.
okay. Before he leaves,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop him.
Okay.
Sir, stop.
He stops.
I will confess to all of the wrongdoings of my party. This has been all my fault. I've messed up. I've done things that I shouldn't have. I've put my friends in great danger because of my shenanigans, my
Tomfoolery.
yeah.
Says the
Now I
disembodied
feel like
voice.
shit. But I'm still eating duck, so.
I have never met a group of people more loyal, more willing to fight for good or bad, but for what they believe in. And I have dove in head first into this group. But I will say that all of the evil is on me, sir. I deserve to hang. And then I sit there silent.
He pauses for a moment.
Has Jimothy ever seen this level of personality disorder before?
He says, Morton, it takes a certain kind of person to fall on the sword, as you will. Just tell me, has anyone persuaded you to say this to me?
No, sir. I am unpersuadable.
I mean,
Granite monolith.
Go ahead. Try to persuade me.
Except literally a minute before you just like easily persuaded him to put his hands in shackles.
I will accept all the charges on my crew's behalf.
Even the ones you weren't there
And now,
for.
no, and now he's being like genuine, like really,
Yes.
really, truly genuine, like asking to be pretty much sacrificed for the group.
That's not what we're looking for here. You know what? Can I get you something to eat?
I will take 2 peaches. And a quart of creme fraiche, please.
Quart?
That's a lot of creme fraiche.
It's just the right amount.
Wait, has anybody seen Call Me By Your Name?
No, I
No.
God damn it.
Sorry, man.
Why?
The peaches are a joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I know
anyways.
that, but
Yeah, someone returns to you later with some peaches. The door locks behind them.
No creme fraiche.
I'm sorry, and the quart of.
You had a quart of creme fraiche just lying around.
At the end of that scene in Call Me By Your Name, the creme fraiche is sort of provided by your own person.
Oh.
yeah.
I see. Okay.
With masturbation.
That kind of awkward.
oh, so we've circled back to cumin, I see.
So many cumin jokes. Oh god.
So there's cumin in the.
Just a fucking cumin
Peaches.
podcast now.
Cumin in your pockets.
Anyways,
There is.
That was one time.
There actually is.
That was one time.
Is that
let's-
cumin in your
my
pocket?
socks.
let's
too.
find the rails again. Where did the train go? I've lost it.
Yeah, it's burning.
Just left
Anyways,
Mort's room.
so Jimothy re-enters the room with Bruce Bannerson at this point, who is now visibly calmer.
Isn't it Badgerson?
Yes,
It's Badgerson.
I just want to keep. Is Bruce Banner? I'm sorry, it was
The Incredible Hulk.
yeah,
He's kind of hulking out a little bit. you know.
a Stan
Veiny.
a Stan Lee. like I don't know, one of those things.
Love you.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, Stan Lee slip. Yeah. Anyways, Bruce Badgerson also enters the room, visibly calmer, and they say, "All right, Peridot,
What?
you're coming with me."
Yeah, okay.
It's like your demeanor completely changed since you've eaten a sandwich.
Yeah.
He just gets really hangry.
He communicated that would be the case.
Right.
No one wanted to believe him.
Bruce takes you to a room, just the two of you.
Are they playing like the elevator music version of that song?
And he says, he gestures for you to sit down. He's still being very patient. He closes the door behind him, slowly locks it.
Ooh, it's getting a little stuffy in here.
You kind of, like, as he sits you down, right, he attempts to shackle you.
Are these for your safety or mine?
He just is smiling.
Oh, God.
And then shackles your wrists. And he places his hand on, like, the mirror behind you and just kind of gives it a couple knocks.
God.
He waits a moment, and he sits down in front of you. And he says, Peridot, we're going to make this very simple.
Sounds good.
You're going to tell me who orchestrated this event in Tarantus, and we're going to be squared away. We'll be pals, even, if you just tell me who is the one responsible for this mess.
It was probably Vecna.
90% sure it was Vecna.
If I had to guess, I probably would say it was the guy who did it. Vecna, that is.
And you had nothing to do with the summoning forth of Vecna into this world.
We couldn't even remain conscious after our escape. What makes you think we had the wherewithal to
trail
orchestrate
of dead bodies in your wake?
Such as?
He pulls out a pad of paper, a parchment. We have confirmed reports that Morden Kragar, who, to be fair, not a good person,
Yeah.
but it was not within your authority to make that end. He should have been turned into to law enforcement.
Is that part of this case?
Oh, we've had a long rap sheet on you guys. Long one. And he kind of kind of sucks air through his teeth. Like he's been waiting for this for like far too long.
Mm-hmm.
For you to like just end up here somehow. You, I will admit, had a good stint there when you had a part in stopping the invasion of the undead, but don't let me, I see through your plans and your ploys. Because through some strange means, the barony of Riverford was handed to a child to rule. No idea how that happened. I don't know who's pulling the strings over there, but there was no election. There was no discussal in the council. It just happened. It's like people just making their own fucking decisions over here. You guys seem to attract some strange visitors to your keep, and you hire some questionable individuals to take care of your things. We even heard a report that they almost released some sort of explosive weapon on the countryside. Some salesman was barking about it. He was walking through.
That sounds about right. I'm not gonna deny that.
Tamasha here, the destruction, and the whole thing with some kind of challenge in the deserted town, and I can't help but think that maybe you orchestrated that too, because you guys are always scheming. Poisoning a bunch of a bunch of people in the woods. Like, that's some psychopath shit.
Well, I think what you can accuse us of is being extremely motivated. And so it's not that we attract this weirdness or even create it, but we try to do as much as we can to figure out what the fuck is going on in this world, as I'm sure you're of a like mind. Now, the one thing I can recall is, meeting a strange man, then quickly killing him, but strange man nonetheless, in the abandoned mines below, Grey Citadel. That's where all this really started, if you really must know. He was probably the first one to, really threaten us so existentially as we are currently.
So do you kind of recount for him some of the events of like that, or is that about all you say?
Yeah, I tell him about how,
The whole Sinister Sanctuary thing happened.
Yeah. Sinister, for our listeners.
Yeah.
Please, this is like the comic panel. Please, asterisk, please see issue number whatever.
Yeah, right.
We're talking about this Sinister Sanctuary. What?
No, I'm just realizing there's a lot more cumin in here.
God damn it.
So much cumin.
God damn it.
It smells like cumin in here.
And so I recount for him those plot points.
He starts to maybe, like, you see the tension that he just kind of carries in his just posture begin to release a little bit.
And I do this with sort of the tone of like, you want to share in this weird ass puzzle? Here, go for it, dumbass.
Look what you got yourself into now.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking to us like we're masterminding this thing. We're relatively idiots compared to whoever it is.
I'm starting to realize that. You're free to go, Paradale. But just wait with Jarrell at the entrance, because we just have to do some processing. There's gonna have to be some... Well, you'll see.
Why do I smell duck?
And he just walks out.
I guess one of his compatriots is having himself a sauna.
Sorry, I just realized what you said. Just roasting the duck.
Oh my God.
Okay, anyways.
You already had your sandwich. They gave you
I had one biscuit
biscuit
and a
coffee.
cup of cold coffee. Yes, it was cold.
Bruce Badgerson kind of enters back into the room with Jimothy, and they're kind of conversing amongst themselves, and they're like, all right, well, we just got a couple more people to get some testimony from, we'll move on. And you can see Bruce looks a bit defeated. And he kind of turns towards Jimothy. He's like, what am I supposed to tell everybody? And Jimothy just kind of like shrugs and kind of like gives him like a thing like, well, we'll talk about it later, and Bruce walks off. Jimothy comes up to you, Zero, and he says, Zero, I do apologize for the long wait. I hope you've been comfortable here. I offer you refreshments, but I don't think you do that kind of thing.
Any 5 weight 30 in the garage?
I won't even pretend to know what that is. So I'm just going to ask you what we brought you, the questions I need to we brought you here for, and send you on your way, because we've gathered enough information to feel comfortable to reach a conclusion of sorts. But we have a request for you. We need the project to let us recover the airship. It's imperative that, this is a matter of international security, and it worries me that this kind of technology or weapon, could be used against us in some way, or, that we might be able to do something together to potentially, use this against our enemies, if you know what I'm saying. These are dire times, and we require access.
While I understand your concern, and be assured it is a very legitimate concern, please understand that I no longer officially speak for the Omega Project.
He sighs. And he looks at Felix and he says, "Do you speak for the Omega Project?" And Felix just kind of looks like wide-eyed at him. He just kind of goes, I'm gonna have to check with my manager, so I'm gonna go with no.
When does Felix not take an opportunity to talk?
I think he understands that the project, especially when, like the head honcho's around, like this is like they're cleaning up. Best not to claim ownership of any of these things, for then I'm gonna have to go blab back. Hey, boss, I told these people I was gonna do this thing, and they'll even be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm just trying to keep a low profile. So, anyways, circling it back, and Jimothy says, like, "Well, Zero, I'm sorry to have wasted your time, but then why? Then how? You know what? Who do you represent now?"
And Zero rises to his full height behind the table, extends his hand to try to shake Jimothy's hand, wondering if maybe Jimothy would recognize what is essentially the touch of his own god in this vessel here.
It's Mothy for short.
Yeah. And looking him right in the eyes says, "Lady Valen has made me her avatar of war."
He, reaches out to shake your hand. His eyes are wide, and he says, "I see. Well then, this changes lots of things." And he looks around the room at the remainder of the individuals here, which is pretty much just Felix and Hoblet. And he says, "Can you vouch for your allies?"
Absolutely, and without reservation.
Does Hoblet react to this at all?
Still laying on the bed, still staring up at the ceiling.
And you think that they operate with good intentions?
They operate with intentions appropriate to the task at hand. Most of the time good. Sometimes a little bad. But in this case, empirically, as my former occupation might lead me to believe, these ends justify the means.
Give me a persuasion check at advantage, please.
Oh good, he's gonna need it.
Valen, common bond.
So still a 15.
He says, "All right. Bear in mind, we're going to have to keep a tight leash, as it were, on your party. So we're going to be sending a representative with you to monitor the activities. He will not interfere. He will not dissuade. He will just simply monitor and report back."
He's a Bond Company stooge,
Yep.
is what you're describing.
That's more or less exactly what I'm describing.
I wish you the very best of luck negotiating the contract and treaty terms of that with the governments of the Omega Project and the Kingdom of Vesh, and whatever representatives in exile that the Grand Kingdom of Kron Nessus may have, and whoever else, because man, I am so glad I don't have to do that anymore.
And you can see he's like, "Well, we have people to do that kind of paperwork. I mean, we have the Baroness here in the city already, so it should be. We'll have it all sorted."
You guys come up with whatever is going to work for your people and your government and your world. And when it comes time for drastic, borderline irresponsible, rash action that nobody else will in their right mind would ever consider doing, you know where to find us.
Why don't we put you up for the night, just in case we come up with any other questions? We feel that, maybe we can still find a way to work together. This is, after all, a crisis bigger than us, wouldn't you say?
It's in our common interests to resolve the situation at hand. I think everyone would agree to that.
He says, I'm glad to hear it. And he's going to walk over to Hoblet's cage and unlock it.
About time. Get
That's
these fucking shackles
your
off of me.
reward for your unbelievable patience and restraint.
Have those words ever been used in a sentence
Describing Hoblet? Never.
Ever.
Not once.
Because Mort should talk.
First
Nerver.
off, this is not more
This
talk.
is not more talking, no. And then he proceeds to tell Felix that he is also free to go. And you see Felix just he's still very silent. And he's going to, as he walks by, just pat you twice in the back, Hoblet, and just start walking ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna saunter out of here. If they take the shackles off of me?
They take the shackles off of you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Did they give them back to me?
No. Not yet. They have to
Probably
they have,
the best two answers.
They have to
those
clear it
questions
and
that
check
you
it
gave
out
me.
of evidence to make sure that it's no that it has to go through the whole processing. All of your things need to be put back together as they were when they entered storage.
Oh, so they play it fast and loose when they want to use them on Hoblet.
Right. Right.
Those were requisitioned prior to, you guys waking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Please. Bruce was not going to resist the opportunity to shackle somebody.
Ooh.
He shackled 3 people, actually.
Gives me some insight in Bruce's mindset.
Sounds like
I still have a chance.
He did pause.
As you're being led out, you kind of go to this front desk. This is the first time you've all been gathered back together again. After some time, you're kind of still getting your bearings. You still look a little worse for wear. What do you say to each other? After all that you've said about each other.
The lobster was tender, but there was no melted chili garlic butter.
So do you guys think we're gonna slip out of this one as suggests our greasy past, or are we actually gonna get hung tomorrow?
Mort is looking proud and silent, chest puffed out, ready to die for his friends.
Yeah, you're
Thinking completely that that's the scenario that's going to play out.
You're starting to be able to collect your belongings now. What does Mort dress himself as on his day returning to the as a free man for now?
Well, the quart can that the creme fraiche came in, I fastened that around just a piece of rope that I have in
Master Cylinder.
in my and I just wear that around my neck.
The neck of my cow.
And
Is it because there's still a little bit of creme fraiche left? Are you keeping it for later?
and
Shirtless, bell bottoms,
There
and
it is.
elevator shoes.
Where did you get those?
I've had them in my pack the entire
What
time.
about the pumpkin suit?
Like a fucked up sunflower you are.
I think he discarded that after he wore it. He only wears the
gourd.
same look once.
The gourd one.
Yeah. So that's what it looks like. I'm wearing a quart can fashioned around my neck on a rope, bell bottoms, elevator shoes, shirtless, ready to roll.
Wow.
Chest puffed out. Still saluting, still flapping my wing.
Like flapping, like hands stretched out, or like
One, yeah.
in.
Like chicken wing style.
Yeah.
Yeah, like chicken wing style.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Was it rude that I ate duck? I was just realizing that.
No, they're geese.
Oh, right.
Mortal enemies. Ducks and
It
geese are
didn't even
mortal
occur to
enemies.
me when I ordered it, but now I'm like, oh, wait.
Narrator, they were neither. Anyways, so you collected your belongings, and you guys could probably use a proper, like, just recollection, a recomposure of yourselves.
Some R and R and R.
Yeah, I don't even know what the third R is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you just went through two of them.
Reconstitution.
yeah.
Rub one out. Rest and
A long rest,
relaxation.
if you will.
And while we take this rest, I want to sort of close with something here.
This is a prepared final speech. This makes me nervous. And he's looking at Dave, doubly nervous.
Here we
Poor
go.
bastards.
Because that means Dave knows what's coming.
Dave looks awfully
It
satisfied.
could actually be one of several different things.
Dave still looks awfully satisfied.
Yeah, more or less. It's pretty great.
The suspense is killing me.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
As you slumber, this is your montage.
Oh no.
All of you are having the same dream. Your slumber is disturbed by the sound of what seems to be cries of thousands of people. You open your eyes, but you are no longer in your bed. Rather, you are standing in a plaza. Crumbled stone litters the broken cobblestone streets. The buildings that once stood here now lay in ruin. You look ahead to see a massive pillar of light, corrupted by wisps of swirling dark energy, giving it a purplish hue. You cannot see where these cries are coming from. The streets are empty save for a lone figure in front of you, kneeling on a plinth where a gazebo once stood, its back turned. Its body convulses as if it was sobbing or laughing. You can't seem to tell. After a few moments, the figure stands, and you notice its scalp is decayed. The hair that once grew from it is matted and gray. It begins to turn to face you. Empty eye sockets stare through you as its mouth opens into a gaping maw of darkness, and the cries grow even louder. You feel paralyzed by fear. You involuntarily open your mouth to scream, but not even a whimper emerges. The figure suddenly rushes towards you, its feet floating above the ruined cobbles, and soon you can see nothing but darkness, and the cries are deafening, clawing at your very soul for help before you wake in a cold sweat.
I'd like to point out that Jarrell is immune to being frightened.
And that's where we're gonna call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast.
Beautiful.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you like what you heard, you can find us on the internets where you can talk to us and stuff. We're on Twitter at Hapless Heroes, Instagram at Hapless Heroes. We have a subreddit that I'm terrible at updating. It's reddit.com/r/Hapless Heroes podcast. But all those places just kind of point you to our Discord server where we actually hang out and talk, and it's much easier to do it all in one place. It's just, we talk about random things. It's great. We have a nice little community we've built in there. People just keep, contributing to like random discussions, and we still haven't talked about whether the Looney Tunes are superheroes or not. I mean,
They are.
but you never know.
They're hot dogs.
That's right.
The
Sorry,
Looney
I forgot.
Tunes are hot dogs.
Right.
This
Yes.
group
Bugs Bunny is a
frustrates me.
Bugs Bunny's a
No, superheroes are sandwiches.
Oh, wait. Oh, you're right.
Villains.
They are.
Just the
Are
villains.
sandwiches.
Villains are sandwiches.
No, superheroes.
Superheroes.
are sandwiches. Heroes are sandwiches.
Hero sandwiches.
Right.
The villains are the soup.
So,
Our
anyways,
submarine.
just
sandwich.
a small sample of the amazing content that you would get.
Grinders.
Just hanging out
Hoagies
with
and
them.
Hoagies and grinders.
Meatloaf sandwich.
Anyways, if you really, really, really
Wait,
like us,
meatball sandwich.
I hate you.
Meatball sub.
Please stop. If you really, 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 really like us, yes, that's right, you. I'm talking to you out there.
A sandwich.
We would love for you.
Sandwiches and superheroes alike.
Right. We would love for you to leave us a 5-star review on the podcast service of your choice, especially if you're a sandwich. I really would like to hear the perspective of a sandwich as to what they think of our show. I think that's, a demographic that we really haven't heard much from. You know what I'm saying?
Do we want to hear from a hot dog?
I do not want to hear from a hot dog nor a taco.
Well, we said
because they are
we said
not
sandwiches,
sandwiches.
so that's all.
Yeah.
Like we said sandwiches.
Listen,
So hot dogs and
if
tacos
you
are
identify as a sandwich, we would love to hear a review from you.
Yep.
All right.
If you really, 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 really like us, though, you could donate to our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/HappersHeroes. We have some really strange and fun rewards that, might tickle your fancy, and we really appreciate any and all of the donations that we've received thus far. It's really helped us, just kind of make this the production that it is today.
Tasteful nudes still on the table.
Yeah, have we sent any tasteful news
At
yet?
this
We have
point,
not.
we'll do them for like pizza and wings. Like, you
Right,
can give us
right.
like $30 and we'll just throw them together. for
Right.
you.
Yeah.
We'll pose with the pizza and wings, nude,
Yeah.
tastefully, deliciously.
Dog. Like a button on a fur coat.
No, stop.
with some wings around.
For reference.
And if you really, really like us, love us, like us, right now you like us, Sally Field, and the whole deal, disguise yourself as a hammer. That's right. Just, get a hammer costume. Like the Tool, not the MC. And, sneak into the back door of a hardware store. Try to lay low. Try to, mix in with the stock.
The regular size hammers.
The not human size hammers, yeah. Those ones.
Shh. If you're good enough, you won't need to be a regular sized hammer. They'll just believe you. Just take you at face value. And this should be a hardware store, preferably with like an electronics parts drawer section.
One drawer.
Yeah. No, parts drawer section.
It's a section of drawers.
It's a section of electric
Drawers
parts.
or electric?
Your transistors, your resistors, your relays and switches.
The capacitors.
Yeah, your breadboards and what have you. And, wait until after close. They flip off the lights. And that's where the plan really begins. Because you're going to construct an apparatus to control the minds of everyone within, let's say, a 30-meter radius.
I'm with you. This all makes sense.
Just 90 feet.
Make them do the same thing. And maybe put up a little post-it note on the parts drawer that says, download Hapless Heroes podcast.
There's going to be a bunch of people dressed up as hammers all 90 feet away from each other.
Based on
No,
your
it'll be a
whole
chain,
world
it'll be a
is just-
chain reaction.
Yeah, it'll be a chain
Until
reaction.
the whole world is
Until
just
the whole
people
world.
dressed up as hammers
Even
listening to
us.
Hapless Heroes.
That's
Even
right.
us.
That's a
Except
great
for-
idea.
Except for Hammer Zero. They'll be the mastermind, the conductor of the whole thing.
I get what you did there.
What the? I don't get it. What did I do?
Conductor.
Oh, what?
And
we still
so,
talk about the duck.
Oh, god damn it.
You know what? I get it now. All right.
Is that a cumin joke? No, I'm just kidding.
So much cumin. It's all over.
Outroing my cast. To my left. Actually, no, let's go the opposite way. To my right. Michael. Playing Lord Captain Quinn Southman.
I don't sweat. I glisten. I sparkle. I shine.
I think Kanye said that once.
I'm about as arrogant.
To his left, James playing Hoblet the Emancipated.
I've been locked up before, and I'll be locked up again.
Zach playing Peridot Lincoln Woods.
Hey, Mort, that's a nice looking can.
Master
Massimo,
Cylinder.
Massimo playing Martin Mack.
I am ready to die for my friends.
John playing Lord Jarrell the Light.
Until next time.
I knew it. And Dave playing Zero, Valen's Avatar of War.
Yes. Eventually we'll get to the war part.
Right.
Can't be far now.
Nope.
And I'm Francesco, and I've been your host and DM. We love you. Tune in next time.
Happy New Year!
Yeah, hey, bye.
Okay. Another year of failed resolutions.
Bye.
I'm gonna lose weight this year, I swear.
No, you're not.
Bye.
I hope so.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.